All right, hey guys, if you go to chapter 7 and you open your notes, we are going to go through just a little bit of it today. I'm try to go through a little bit of it when I can to hopefully help you with your assignments and different things along the way. So chapter 7 is all about our protists and our fungi, which is a great chapter just coming off of our bacteria and viruses. Um, If you look at the picture that I put here, this is a picture of a slime mold. Go ahead and if you open up your books to chapter 7, the very beginning, the introduction talks a lot about slime molds. And I'm not going to go, I really don't want to talk about it because that was your assignment today, so I don't want to give anything away, but pretty interesting and kind of gross at the same time. Your slime molds. So that is a picture of what that looks like. But let's talk about our protists first, and let's talk about where it's classified. It does belong under the kingdom Protista. It's a very diverse kingdom, which means it has many, many different types. So if you look at page 135, it talks about the different types of protists found in your book. These species are so diverse because in the way not only that they look, but the way that they move, the way that they obtain their food, and the way that they reproduce. They can reproduce in ways that are found in all of their kingdoms, which means they can reproduce the same way bacteria does, which is by binary fission. They can reproduce by mitosis, which is sexual reproduction. They can reproduce by meiosis. So they're just very diverse in a lot of what they do. All of them, though, are eukaryotic, which again means they're mostly unicellular, right? Okay, which means they're one-celled, simple organisms. Some of them will form colonies together. And there are two general types: your protozoans and your algae. Your book doesn't go into detail about these two. However, I'm not going to go into detail about algae, but just the protozoans. And then on page 135, again, you can read about the different types, like, the slime molds, the fungus, the amoebid, plant-like, all kinds of those. But I'm just going to talk about the protozoans today. The protozoans are more of the animal-like protists, okay? So these are like your microsporidians on page 135 if you read about those, which are animal parasites, and most of their hosts are insects, which allows them to control, to fight unwanted insect pests. Pretty cool. They are among one of the smallest eukaryotic cells, but most of your protozoans are going to be types of microsporidians as well. They can move and capture their prey, which is pretty cool. This is also, for example, like your paramecium and your amoebas. I did put a picture right here of a paramecium so you could see that. And if you remember, we talked about parameciums before. Your parameciums reproduce by meiosis. Remember, that means they just split in two. And that's how they reproduce. It just will divide by itself. Movement. How do some of these things move? They can move by flagella or they can move by cilia. Remember the difference? Your flagella is that long whip-like tail, and cilia is the multiple different short, they almost look like hairs. Kind of, if you go back, you can see it on this paramecium. You can see what it looks like, the little cilia all around it. Just looks like little hairs. Or it can move by pseudopods, okay? As you can see, I put a picture here so you could know what pseudopods are. What pseudopods do is it forms a bulge that serves as an anchor, which you can see right here. These bulges serve as an anchor, and so it allows the cell to pull itself forward. When I don't know why, but when I think of pseudopods and what they do, I think of somebody we don't really do this, but have you ever seen people that like try to climb a rope in gym class? This is, to me, just kind of is what I picture. Somebody puts their hands up and anchors themselves and then pulls out their body weight forward and keeps going, keeps climbing that rope. Anyways, be thankful you don't have to do that in PE class. We are going to stop here today, and I'll pick up on nutrition hopefully tomorrow.